The end of law is not to abolish or restrain, but to preserve and enlarge freedom. For in all the states of created beings capable of law, where there is no law, there is no freedom. In transgressing the law of nature, the offender declares himself to live by another rule than that of reason and common equity. All mankind being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty or possessions. Man hath by nature a power to preserve his property, that is, his life, liberty, and estate, against the injuries and attempts of other men. I have no reason to suppose that he, who would take away my liberty, would not when he had me in his power, take away everything else. Wherever law ends, tyranny begins. All mankind being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty or possessions. We are like chameleons, we take our hue and the color of our moral character from those who are around us. To love our neighbor as ourselves is such a truth for regulating human society, that by that alone one might determine all the cases in social morality. I have always thought the actions of men the best interpreters of their thoughts. The discipline of desire is the background of character. The dread of evil is a much more forcible principle of human actions than the prospect of good. To prejudge other men's notions before we have looked into them is not to show their darkness but to put out our own eyes. Our business here is not to know all things, but those which concern our conduct. All men are liable to error, and most men are, in many points, by passion or interest, under temptation to it. Our deeds disguise us. People need endless time to try on their deeds until each knows the proper deeds for him to do. But every day, every hour, rushes by. There is no time. Where there is no property there is no injustice. Our incomes are like our shoes, if too small, they gall and pinch us, but if too large, they cause us to stumble and to trip. All wealth is the product of labor. Every man has a property in his own person. This nobody has a right to, but himself. The reason why men enter into society is the preservation of their property. Fashion, for the most part, is nothing but the ostentation of riches. There are 1,000 ways to wealth, but only one way to heaven. The improvement of understanding is for two ends: first, our own increase of knowledge; secondly, to enable us to deliver that knowledge to others. Education begins the gentleman, but reading, good company, and reflection must finish him. No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. It is easier for a tutor to command than to teach. Reading furnishes the mind only with materials of knowledge, it is thinking that makes what we read ours. There is frequently more to be learned from the unexpected questions of a child than the discourses of men. Where all is but dream, reasoning and arguments are of no use, truth, and knowledge nothing. A sound mind in a sound body is a short, but full description of a happy state in this world. He that has these two, has little more to wish for, and he that wants either of them, will be little the better for anything else. It is one thing to show a man that he is in an error, and another to put him in possession of the truth. The visible mark of extraordinary wisdom and power appears so plainly in all the works of creation. To love truth for truth's sake is the principal part of human perfection in this world and the seed plot of all other virtues. The only defense against the world is a thorough knowledge of it. Things of this world are in so constant a flux, that nothing remains long in the same state.